In February 1998, the Furby. I just had a brilliant idea, Joan. What if I replaced you with a Furby instead? At least a Furby could talk to me. I know, I'm looking for a replacement in front of you. That's kind of rude of me. Let me know down below if I should get a Furby instead. In February 1998, the Furby makes her red carpet entrance at the same toy fair where Beanie Babies first debuted. And the news spread like wildfire. Like, what's this Furby? And Furby's in there like, Furby. When people first saw Furby, they were like kind of confused. I mean, I get it. It basically looks like an owl and a chinchilla had mated, you know? And there was no gender, so it wasn't clear who would gravitate more towards this creature. Was it gonna be boys or girls? They don't know. But here's a cool toy, we'll see. But the Furby was undeniably unique. And Hasbro really believed in Furby's potential, so they fast-tracked it. The plan was for Furby to be released in time for Christmas. Genius, love that. So the marketing team at Hasbro gets to work fast. Everything was riding on Furby being like the it toy in time for the holidays. It wasn't enough for Furby to be on the shelves by December. I mean, there had to be buzz around it. So they start shooting all these commercials because, bitch, they needed to hustle. And of course, they air the commercials at prime time, just after Saturday morning cartoons. Genius. These commercials promised something more than a toy. It was a friend who desperately needed you. Kind of like the Tamagotchi, but it couldn't be killed. And it talked and you could touch, you could pet, you know? It was a codependent love story. Furby would arrive at your home speaking only Furbish, its native tongue, but slowly it would, apparently, allegedly, learn English as you taught it. I remember okay, so I got a Furby, of course. Hello, I was a kid. I wanted it so bad. I got a Tamagotchi, and I also got a Beanie Baby. I was hitting them all. They got me good, okay, with their marketing. I was a kid, and I just wanted a Furby. Okay, I got one eventually. And when I got one, it was just so much pressure. Like, I felt like I had to talk to it all the time so it would learn. But then there was rumors that, it was listening to you and, being like, devil! I don't know. Okay, but listen to this. We here at Dark History, we found the truth behind the Furbish language. There was no learning happening like they said. The more the Furby was used, the more words would be unlocked, you know? So the English words were already in there the whole time, and they were tricking us to believe that it was learning from you, but it wasn't. It was programmed with the words. Do you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying. But regardless, it felt like Furby was learning. And isn't that the most important thing? Plus, it was more technologically advanced than any other toy on the market. No one could figure out how this thing worked. David admitted that if he had access to a Furby when he was a kid, the first thing he would do was, quote, take the fur off. I know, hot. Wow. And then he would take it apart and see if he could put it back together again. I know, very Ed Gein. I don't know. Great, David. That's great. In October of 1998, just a few months before Christmas, Hasbro staged a meet and greet for Furby at Chicago's FAO Schwarz. I think I said that correctly, which was a huge, fancy-ass toy store. I mean, the line, it had stretched blocks down Michigan Avenue, and people were so excited. Yeah, if I could meet Furby, I would be lined up too. By the end of the day, thousands of Furbies were on back order. And the Hasbro people must have been like, yeah, bitch, go, Furby. By December, people were getting in line at big department stores at 2 a.m. to ensure that their kids would have a goddamn Furby for Christmas. But there just weren't enough of them to go around. No, they were not pulling a Ty Warner and, creating demand. They just were selling out. Everyone wanted one. I mean, look, so I don't know how old I was at this time, but I know I was young. And every day before school, I would call Kmart and Target. I would hit all of the toy stores and ask if they had a Furby in stock. And I did this for weeks, maybe even months. I don't know. It just became a habit. I would do it all the time. And every day, no, we don't have any. Click. And whatever. And then one day, hi, do you have Furby in stock? Yeah, we have one. Like, I didn't know what to do. I went in my parents' room. I woke them up. I was like, there's a one Furby at Kmart. You need to go and get it. And they were like, no. Trying, they were trying to parent me. No, you need to work for it, whatever. And I was like, God damn it, parents. Get it together. Get me that Furby. I wasn't spoiled, I swear. I just knew what I wanted. And I wanted a Furby. Anyways, so my parents told me, no, we're not getting it for you. No. And then when I got home from school, they had gotten me the Furby. I know. I was like gonna cry. So dumb, but shout out to my parents. You guys really came, it was so great. I was so thankful. Unfortunately, the fun, it didn't last that long because my Furby wouldn't shut up. Like, he would talk all the time. And I was like, girl, I can't think. Okay, you're talking too much. So then I put a pillowcase over its head because I wanted to like cover the sensor so he'd go to bed. And even with the pillow over his head, he didn't stop. I think mine was defective. In stores, Furbies retailed for like $30, but just like the Beanie Babies, people had started snatching them up and then, reselling them for profit. Furbies would get listed on places like eBay for hundreds of dollars. It was insanity. And as it got closer and closer to the holidays, these prices just went up and up. It got to a point where parents were buying eBay Furbies for thousands of dollars. I know. Customers started to get angry. They saw this limited availability as an attempt to gatekeep Furbies and drive up demand. I mean, everyone thought this was like another Ty Warner gimmick, but engineered by Hasbro, so they could make more money. And can you blame the people? I mean, we had trauma from that Princess Diana bear. Hasbro claimed that they were working as hard as they could to get Furbies out to everyone who wanted one. And it seems like they were being honest because they were forced to like overnight ship product from China. And this put like a major ding in their profits. Clearly, they didn't see this coming. At the end of the day, I mean, no one can plan for a fad. Not even Hasbro. At the end of the day, Furby's success didn't come from like supply and demand tactics like Beanie Babies. It came from the twisted but genius codependent relationship it created between kid and toy. It was beautiful, genius. I mean, kids were like totally attached to their Furbies. It was everything and more than they were promised in those Saturday morning commercials. Unlike with Ty, we'll never know just how profitable Furby was for David, because David, very extremely private person. Good for him, I mean, Ty Warner literally took like out a full page ad in the Wall Street Journal to announce to the world his many millions in profits. But David, he was giving Unabomber vibes. Just total opposite. No, in my opinion, he was giving Unabomber vibes, is what I'm saying. Don't want to get in trouble. As soon as the Furby fever ramped up, David was like, I'm out. Peace. Good for him. He basically disappeared off the face of the earth. He ended up moving with his family to a house in the Tahoe National Forest where they lived off the grid, like even without electricity. Unabomber, I know. And he never disclosed the location of the house because he was so worried about crazy people like coming to him and demanding a freaking Furby. I guess it was happening all the time. All we know is that he lived like in an area where the nearest town was like 25 miles away. Good for him. I like people who just are like, I'm out, bye. But David's invention would become so popular that Furby was even referenced during President Bill Clinton's impeachment hearing. Yeah. We got some weird crossovers happening here, right? Beanie Babies intersected with the death of Princess Diana. Furbies had the Clinton impeachment. It was wild times. Wild. I'm surprised OJ didn't end his Bronco chase by tossing a Tickle Me Elmo out the driver's side door. Elmo wants a chalupa. Throws him out, Now, if you're a little on the fence about Furbies, I get it. They've got something in their eyes, They're watching you. It's kind of freaky. And they've got this like freaky telekinetic feature. When you put two Furbies next to each other, they know. Oh, they know. And they'll even talk to each other. In Furbish, of course. Which kind of like freaked people out. And had everyone thinking like, what the hell is going on with these Furbies? What is this newfangled technology? The parents who bought the Furby for Christmas in 1998, they started to panic because there were some things about Furby that were just a little odd, suspicious, questionable. One thing that really freaked people out was like, the Furby didn't have an off switch. You know, Furby was always on. They reacted to movement and touch whether you wanted them to or not. They were kind of like a broken smoke detector. Beep! You know? Oh, I hate that. You can't reach it, so you're just like, someone will fix it one day, but not me. The only way you could get peace from this little creature is if you like rip the batteries out of it. This made me think of another Furby story for you. My grandpa had a Furby for like 15 years. The same Furby. He kept the conversation going. He kept it alive. He swore that the Furby was so smart. He was a really smart guy, my grandpa. He loved his Furby. That's him right here. Just kidding.